completely lost in your career? You know that feeling, like you're on some winding path that just isn't yours? If you're nodding along, trust me, you are not alone. So today we're going to look at an ancient guide for this very, very modern crisis.
And this quote, wow, it just hits you, right? I cannot feel any joy and dread going to work. This feeling right here, this is the starting point for so many of us. It's that deep, nagging sense that something is just fundamentally off with how we spend most of our waking hours. It's the definition of being completely misaligned.
So where does that feeling even come from? Well, a lot of the time, it's just from all the noise. Think about it. We're constantly bombarded by expectations. From family, society, our friends, what we see scrolling through social media. And all that pressure, it can push us into jobs that, yeah, they look great on paper, but they feel totally hollow on the inside. This is exactly what leads to that whole phenomenon of quiet resignation.
Okay, so how do we find our way out of this mess? Well, ancient Vedic wisdom actually offers a really powerful concept that kind of reframes this entire struggle. And that concept is called dharma. Now, let's break this down, because this is key. On one side, you've got career. That's basically what you do to earn a living, right? To pay the bills. But on the other side, you have dharma. And dharma, well, that's your highest duty. It's a whole way of being. It's not just what you do, but how and why you do it, all aligned with your deepest purpose.
And if we look at the word itself, dharma comes from the Sanskrit root dri, which literally means to uphold. So when you're living your dharma, it means you're actively upholding and sustaining the positive order of things. You're part of what keeps everything in balance, both for you and for the world. It's about being a force for good, and it all starts with yourself.
Okay, so from this big idea of dharma, we're going to get even more personal. We're going to drill down from the universal to your unique path. And that has a name too. It's called svadharma.
So where does this journey begin? It starts with understanding your svabhava. What is that? It's your inherent unique nature. It's your core temperament, who you are at your very essence. You know, before the world started telling you who you should be. You can almost think of it like your personal energetic blueprint.
And once you start to get a handle on your svabhava, your svadharma is the path that flows directly out of it. It's the duty, the purpose, the work that is a perfect, authentic expression of you. See, it's not some generic formula for success. It's your own totally personalized way of contributing to the world.
And this quote from the Bhagavad Gita, just let this one sink in for a second. It is better to fail in one's own dharma than to succeed in another's. Wow. It's basically saying that an authentic attempt on your own path, even if it looks like a total failure to everyone else, is way, way more valuable than killing it on a path that isn't even yours to begin with.
The Gita actually has a name for following someone else's path. It's called paradharma, and it gives a really strong warning. It says that trying to live someone else's life, to follow their path, isn't just unfulfilling, it's actually dangerous.
And to really drive this point home, the ancient text used this amazing analogy. Picture a fish, right? Now this fish sees that milk is considered way more valuable than water. So the fish decides, hey, I'm going to go live in the milk. And what happens? It dies. Of course it does, because its nature, its svabhava, is to live and thrive in water. It's such a stark image, but it perfectly illustrates how living outside of our own true nature, no matter how glamorous or successful it might seem, will ultimately just lead to our own spiritual or psychological end.
Okay, so that all sounds great, but how do we actually find this path? How do we uncover our own svadharma? Let's get practical. Let's talk about a toolkit for self-discovery.
Now, this isn't about waiting for some big, mystical, lightning bolt of revelation. It's a process. It's about deep, honest self-reflection. The steps are pretty straightforward. First, understand your nature. Then, identify those inner callings. Next, assess your impact, what you can give. And finally, and this is a big one, you got to learn to listen to that quiet inner voice, your conscience. A really great place to start is just to pay attention to your energy. As you go through your day, just notice, what activities make you feel alive, energized, expansive? And on the flip side, what just completely drains you and makes you feel small? Seriously, your energy is like a powerful compass, and it's always pointing toward your true nature.
Here's another question, and yeah, it's a classic, but for a really good reason. Ask yourself, if money were completely off the table, what would I choose to do with the rest of my life? When you take that pressure of earning a living away for a second, you can hear a much clearer signal from your heart. What would you do just for the pure love of doing it? The answer to that question?
it probably holds a major key to your real passions. You can even frame this as a deeper kind of inquiry. Just ask, your higher self, the universe, whatever you connect with, ask it, what is the unique talent you gave me when I came into this world? Posing the question that way really encourages you to look for those innate gifts you were born with, the things you just do naturally, without even trying. So when you start asking these kinds of questions, you actually begin to move toward a life of true alignment. So what does that actually look like? What does it feel like?
First off, living in alignment isn't about just selfishly chasing your passion and ignoring everything else. Your svadharma exists inside this complex web of other dharmas, or duties. You've got your duty to your family, your duty based on your stage in life, and of course, universal ethics like being honest and kind. The real goal here is to find a dynamic balance between all of these, not a single-minded obsession with just one.
And this idea, this reframes everything. When you can stop seeing your career as some kind of contest that you have to win, and instead start seeing it as a yajna, a sacred offering of your unique talents to the world, the whole pressure just shifts. The focus moves away from what can I get and toward what can I give.
And this leads to this incredible state you could call detached excellence. You pour all your energy into doing the action, the work itself, as best as you possibly can, but you let go of the anxiety about the result. You release the outcome. Let me tell you, this is a powerful, powerful antidote to burnout.
And what's the result of all this? Well, when you're living in that state of alignment, the joy comes back. That morning dread, it disappears. Challenges suddenly feel worthwhile. Decisions feel more intuitive, clearer. And you find yourself in this state of flow, where life just seems to unfold with more ease than effort, with a real sense of purpose. So I'm going to leave you with one final question to think about. Right now, in this moment, is the way you're approaching your work a contest that you're desperately trying to win, or is it a contribution that you feel honored to make? Really think about it. The answer might just change everything for you.